What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video on Pure Panorama. Look at what we got here, boys. We got the freaking truck in the garage. Oh my, I am so freaking happy right now. You can see I still have a little bit of space up here. I'm able to get in there and work. I actually have a little bit more that I would have to pull forward in order to close the door, but tonight isn't really that cold, so I'm gonna leave the door open. I might drop it down a little bit. I am going to try and run some wiring for our auxiliary reverse lights, and I think I've come to the decision that I'm just gonna hook them up to a switch rather than have them come on automatically and also be hooked up to a switch so that I can manually turn them on and off. I just think that having them hooked up to a switch is probably my best option. I don't need the luxury of having them pop on automatically. It's nothing to me to have to flip the switch, and I would just rather have full control over them. So that is probably the route that we are gonna go. So I'm gonna just get to work on trying to tuck wire and get it tidied up so that we can get them hooked up. I do have the negatives and the positives on both the lights already spliced together, so they are running both leads into just one lead. So that's already done. All I need to do is start to get other wires ran and get it hooked up to a power source and finish grounding everything. I do have a pre-made wiring harness from mictuning that I'm thinking about using, even though we did just get some mail time stuff, as you saw me grab off the front porch. I know it was a little bit dark when I grabbed it, but we're gonna open that up. That is just electrical connections and things like that that I ordered yesterday and had overnighted to have them here today. But now would be an excellent time for you guys to hit that thumbs up button for me for seeing the truck squeezed into the garage for the first time after all the work I've done out here to make this happen so we could keep content flowing on the channel this winter. Oh baby, I am pumped. Hit that thumbs up button for me right now and continue watching the video. So really quick, let's get these open and I'll show you what I got from Amazon. This first one is just a kit full of different T-taps. We also got a little pack of these connectors here, which are basically just a butt connector to splice your wires together, and they are like a solder heat shrink type of deal, I believe. I will link all these in the description with all the other parts and tools that I have linked up below. So if you're looking for anything that I use here, remember to check out those links down below in the description. Click on them, it'll take you right to what you're looking for and you're good to go. And then this box here, I believe, is just a rocker switch, if I'm not mistaken. I ordered a extra rocker switch, which I'm probably not going to use. And that is what it is. It is a rocker switch. This little rocker switch in this big box. Wow. What's wrong with throwing it in the envelope? You just had an extra box kicking around that is freaking way too large for this little guy? Okay then. This is the wiring harness though that I got, and this actually has a little switch in it as well, but you can see there, this thing is already all just pre-done. They put it all together for you, take all the guesswork out of it, and basically set you right up. So all you have to do is just tuck it where you want it and then plug it all into your lights. I'm probably just gonna go ahead and use this because, well, why not? It saves me a lot of time, makes me get the lights on faster, and yeah, just less of a headache. They give you a couple different size fuses to use with the inline fuse, and then you got some little connectors to connect to the lights. I do believe that's what those are for. Here you can see the switch right there. Not the nicest switch, but it's functional. It does the job, gets it done. I don't know, it's just easier to go this route sometimes. Another reason I like to get these pre-made harnesses, they don't put it in loom necessarily, but they do put a protective like vinyl cover over it. This is a 2-lead harness, so you can literally just plug one into one light, one into the other light. I already have both of my lights spliced into one lead each for the positive and the negative, so I'll only need to use one of these leads. I'm using both cameras, so if you notice a slight change in audio, that's because I'm switching in between cameras because I need the small one out here to get into smaller places right now. It's just helping me out with filming. But how do you like that planning, boys? Overhead storage, got about 4 inches of clearance between the hood when it's popped and the storage. We are freaking golden. Look at that. It's almost like I planned it this way. Alright, so before anybody freaks out and says, what are you doing with all that wire exposed and why didn't you loom it and stuff? It's only because we are just temporarily getting these hooked up and possibly going to be revisiting it to hook them up in a different way. So I don't want to get everything all buttoned up 100% yet, just in case things are going to change here in the near future. But if we don't do that for whatever reason, I obviously will get back down underneath here and kind of tidy this up. But I wanted to leave myself some slack in these wires so that I could cut off at the connections and still have slack to play with and kind of rewire things if we switch up the style in which we want to have these lights run. So that's what I just did for now. I just got it all up out of the way, zip tied so that it won't flop around and get hit and stuff, get caught on anything. It's not going anywhere. It's gonna be flexing with my whip here for my trailer brake. Whoever installed this did a real grade A job on it. I need to get some type of mount for this thing anyways. So there's a few things back here that need to get tidied up, but for now we're just looking to get these lights connected so that they work. Now I need to get up here, connect these wires to our switch wire, and we should be good to hook up to power and see if our lights come on. Got it all wrapped with some heat shrink and the connections are made, so we are good. Pulled our wire loom right up over the heat shrink, and then it meets our other little protector here from the actual wiring harness. So we are in good shape, boys. Everything as far as the lights go is all hooked up. Everything is ran nice all up along the top of the frame. We do have a little bit of slack here, so I'm just gonna pull it forward up here a little bit. I gotta cover those two connections there, and then I'll pull the slack forward and find a good spot that I can just kind of coil it up and tie it up so it's not dangling and flopping around. This looked like a good spot to pull the slack out and zip tie it to the bottom of our cab. So I got two locations to zip tie it and keep it nice and tight so it won't be flopping around. I think we're in good shape to go ahead and hook her up to some power and see what happens. We're going direct power right at the battery for right now, just to see how it goes, and then we can take time over the weekend to splice into the fuse box and tap a fuse so that we only get power when the key is on and we don't have constant power all the time to them. But for the sake of time now and it being late at night already, I just want to get this wrapped up and see what happens. So here we go. We've got power and ground connected, everything else is hooked up. Our relay is just gonna kind of flop around right here for the time being. I need to get a self tapper from work tomorrow, and then we will kind of tidy this up and mount the relay over here on the side so that it's not bouncing all over. So we just got to live with that for tomorrow, and then we can take care of that tomorrow night. Let's flip the switch inside and see what the hell happens. And for now, before anybody loses their marbles, don't freak out because I got the switch just flopped around here just like this one, because I knew I was going to be doing more lights when I ran this one. So I just kind of flopped it there until I knew 100% what I was going to do, and then I could go and tidy it up and mount everything together when I figured out where I wanted my switches to be. So I did the same thing with this one for right now. Just to get it going, I just dangled it right out underneath the steering wheel, so all I have to do is reach down there and flip it. But we are going to switch this up a little bit and get everything mounted in a good, nice position that's easy to reach from the driver's seat. I just need to figure out where, because I'd like to run these rocker switches, but they are quite large, as you can see. There's a lot of depth to them, so I need to find a good spot to do it. And I may need to take the time to run the wires through the door here, through the hinge and the grommets there, and then mount them over here in the door, because I'll probably have the most clearance here in the door panel. There's not much clearance in our dash panels and stuff down here, so it's kind of hard to mount a switch like these rockers up here. So I don't need anyone losing their marbles on me and going crazy because I just have the switches just flopped in the cab here. I just need these things functional for now. Boom, switch lights up. And if we come out here, oh, look at that. Would you look at that, boys? We've got our reverse lights all ready to go. And that's all there is to it. just a quick, simple, easy way to do it. Just run a pre-wired wiring harness from mictuning right up along the frame. Get it all into the cab for right now so that they're functional, and that's the way we're gonna leave it for the time being, so that we can just use these things for now, and I can see what I'm doing now that it's getting dark super early. By the time I get home, typically it's already dark. So I think we're in good shape. Once we get the other lights for the front of the truck and we start to get those all hooked up and everything, and we figure out 100% what we want to keep for light setups on the truck, then we will revisit all the wiring and the switches and find a nice permanent home for them and tidy it all up in the cab. But until then, we gotta live with it this way. At least our lights are working. Good old test right here for you guys. As you can see, nothing. You can't see anything in my mirrors right now, but if I flip this switch, can we see anything? You're seeing it here with me first. So I can see out my mirrors with these lights and the tinted windows, but the camera unfortunately doesn't pick it up. Well, there you go, guys. We got them hooked up, at least for right now. We've got power run to them. The switch isn't mounted in the cab all pretty. Neither is the switch for the other lights up front, which aren't even working right now. I don't know if the lights failed or what's going on, but those 3-inch aux beam pods that I have down below the front bumper, they're not working. I don't know what's up with those, so we got to troubleshoot that. But like I said, that's all changing here very soon in the near future. I am actually waiting on something to get here to the house so that we can kind of change that up just a little bit. So that'll be the next lighting project. Then once we know what we're going to keep for lighting and where we want to mount the switches, then we will go ahead and tidy it all up, get them mounted in a permanent spot, and make it look good. But for now, function is the priority, and function is what we have for those reverse lights. At least I can see a little bit. I now am noticing that the light output on them is decent. It's got good light output, but the spread of the light pattern, the beams of the light, isn't really all that great. I think it's because I have the lights a little too far centered on the rear bumper, and I was trying to go for a balanced kind of symmetrical look and not have them be like out too far or in too far. I wanted them to kind of split the bumper up and look decent that way. But I'm now noticing that our spread isn't all that great. So I'm kind of wishing that I would have moved them out towards the outer edges of the bumper a little bit more, and I think we would have had a wider spread of light. But it is what it is. Those can still stay there, obviously. I'm not gonna remove them and pull them out and have two big 7-inch holes in my rear bumper. But maybe we can get another set of the little 3 or 4 inch flush mounts, and we can put them on the outer edges of the bumper so that we can shine some light outward or something. Maybe we can put them right on the very ends of the bumper so they actually do shine out like some alley lights or something. That might be an idea. So I'm not opposed to cutting more holes in the bumper, not by any means. I don't care, as long as we can see and we got light, and we can mess with those tailgaters and those people who like to ride with their high beams on behind me. This video is probably a little long as it is right now, so we're gonna cut it off here. At least we got all that stuff hooked up. We will talk more about that in another video, and I will let you know how I'm liking them as I use them a little bit more. 30 seconds here in the driveway isn't really enough to give you a good review on them, so we got to get out there in the real world and mess around with them a little bit and see how good I'm able to see with the windows up in like parking lots and things like that. So we'll report back on all that, let you know and give you some updates on it as I use them a little bit. But for now, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button for me if you didn't hit it earlier in the video when I said to hit it for getting the truck in the garage. First time seeing it, crammed all the way in here, all that hard work, getting the garage straightened out, paid off. If you're stopping in for the first time, you're new here, you just found the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, join the freaking family, make it stronger, and I will see you tomorrow with another new video. Peace. Oh, and I always forget to say this. You can get your truck featured here on the channel if you like the videos, share the videos, you're subscribed to the channel, and you follow me on Instagram. Submit your submissions to me on Instagram through a direct message. all the photographs you want of your truck and a description of everything you have done and anything you want to say about it. We will feature that truck right here on the channel so everybody can see it and you can show off your pride and joy. Now I'm out. See ya.